Welcome back to the Social Seller Podcast with Conor Paulsen, where we interview the world's highest quality communicators, professionals, business owners, creatives, and everything in between. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you're a high quality communicator, there's a good chance you're living a lot happier life, but you're also bringing those opportunities into your life almost like a magnet. My guarantee is that on this show, we only interview people that I, one, look up to, and two, that I know are going to continue to kill the game for years to come, and I want to make sure they're on your radar. But what I've learned is by asking the best questions, we get the best responses, and that's what the highest quality communicators, our social sellers, are all about. Let's hop inside to the Social Seller Podcast.
Which is weird. Like, I never thought my life was going to be peaceful. Yeah. I was like one of those people that was like, life is always going to be so hard.
You deserve an incredible man. I'm so glad that you have. What's his name again?
Andrew.
Andrew. Sounds incredible. I'm excited to meet him.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. No. He is outstanding.
That's incredible. Mm-hmm. It is our Mother's Day special episode. Mm-hmm. What is one of the most embarrassing stories that your mom would tell if she was here right now and showed up, of like just any time when you were growing up that would...
Oh my gosh.
Was embarrassing for you, but the family thinks is hilarious?
So I don't have like a lot of, so that's a hard question because I have like no shame.
No.
Like I don't get embarrassed. So I'm like thinking back and I'm like, I mean, there have been so many funny things. I would say, I guess, like I broke my nose playing tag and, but I like face planted, like got knocked unconscious, like hit the curb and cracked my nose. And my grandma like didn't tell my mom, and she was like, well, maybe Mia can like stay here for like a few more days, whatever. I like show up and I'm like, and I was like, Zaza, is it bad? And she goes, no, it's not that bad. And my mom and my brother opens the door, he goes, holy shit, because like I was like completely swollen, and he like leaned over, and my brother Devin, he's notorious for he has like no filter, and sometimes you're like, you didn't just say that. When somebody says, is my baby cute, you say yes. You don't say, its eyes are a little big. But Devin does. That's a real story.
That's awesome.
And Devin goes, do you think she's ever gonna look the same? Like, he was concerned. And I literally, I was so swollen, I looked like the Predator. Like, it was just like flat.
Oh my God.
So I would say like that's probably one, but I was always hurting myself. I was always doing dorky stuff. I was the entertainment, right? And especially with my mom being sick, it's like I grew up with this personality that was just... When I would go to the grocery store with my mom, sometimes she would have to like sit down in the grocery store, and people would start looking at her. And so to deflect off of that, I would start like dancing in the middle of the aisle, like la 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 la, whatever, just being as crazy and ostentatious as possible, so she felt more comfortable.
That's awesome.
And so I grew up with that, and that propelled my charisma, as some people would call it.
Yeah.
So it's, but my mom would have too many embarrassing stories. I wouldn't be embarrassed of it.
Yeah, I love that. And the reason why I'm laughing when you told the story was literally like, oh gosh, like that wasn't a good question, because you go right into like, I face planted, went unconscious.
Yeah.
Turned into the Predator.
I did. I was totally like, it was terrifying. Like I remember, but it was impressive because even the doctor was like, you broke your nose straight, like straight down. They're like, we don't have to do anything. You just have to like not touch it. Like I didn't have to get it like, no, I'm telling you, like when I commit to something, if nothing else, I'm committed. I was like, I am face planting. Like, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They used to call me.
Like, your hands down. Like,
probably.
Flop, like,
I'm sure. I was like,
right? Swan dive.
Exactly. Right into the concrete. Yeah. But my poor mom. They would hear me, like the house is 2 stories, and they would hear me like eat shit, like just bam into something. And they used to all come running. But then they realized it was like too frequent, and it was like a really big expansion of energy. And so they would just wait, and you would hear, I'm okay! And they'd be like, okay, continue regular scheduled programming. Like.
Yeah. I love that. How, and what was your mother's name again?
Maria. I know, my family has hard names, like Alaya, Maria, like, I know. I'm sorry.
They're all beautiful names.
Thank you.
And I just want to make sure I pronunciate them right, and sometimes I'm not the best with it.
No,
but I say them with confidence.
Yeah, no, you do, you're like, Alaya.
It's still this.
And I'm like, close. Yeah. Same, but different.
Yes. So, how has your mother, she's had success in business, and I know growing up in an environment where you have someone in business, and especially a mother that's doing it, and someone that is so influential in your life, what would you say is what is the number one foundational rule that your mother's kind of helped you learn throughout growing up that's helped you the most in business? personal or professional
Yeah,
advice?
no, for sure. I want to, there's so much, right? Like last time I told my mom, I was like, by the way, my podcast is like an ode to you. Like, it's literally just like me telling everybody how obsessed I am with you.
Yeah, we put the title for a week and just say Mother's Day
exactly.
special.
And so she's taught me so many things, but I would say like the one thing that I take in everything is she taught me, and I'll say it in terms that's not as spiritual, just in case, like for anybody so you can take it, is you're not judged by the good things that you've done. You're judged by the good things that you saw that you could have done and you consciously chose not to. And so it's like being like, I know that it's literally not going to cost me anything to do this, and I know, but like, am I too busy? Am I doing the right thing? It's not about getting the big fancy award and doing the big donation so you get your name on a billboard. It's when you see the person in front of you, their card gets declined. One, don't get frustrated. Don't be that person. Like, they're having a way worse day than whatever it is with your frustration, with your impatience. Pay for them. Like, the $10, it's never like a huge grocery order. Yeah. I've seen it happen, and you just see the look on their face, and I'm like, what, the $50? Great, I won't go out that night.
Yeah.
Like, $50 is what, 3 drinks?
Yeah. And at the same time, giving love. I'm a firm believer that by doing that and like, oh, okay, I won't go out tonight. Like, the universe wanted everything to happen, right? They wanted this person. I was purposely behind the line.
Yeah,
this
for sure.
is, my opportunity.
And then what happens is like when somebody has like an opportunity like that, where it's like, when it's not about you and you're not like just out here doing things for, yourself, and that person remembers that. And when they're in that position, because it'll happen, they'll do the same thing.
Yeah.
And then there's like this, it's like that drop in the water, right?
Yeah.
And then it just keeps expanding and expanding. So.
I love that. You brought up a teaching point that I learned yesterday. Is it okay if I share it quick? Because
please.
this is very interesting, and I haven't shared this with anyone. So
me.
this is just about me.
It's
but
Mother's
it's on
Day.
this, and you just brought this up.
Remember how
which
I said it was like, it's not about you? I'm like, no, it's about me.
It's about the mothers. We're mother lovers.
Yeah, we are.
Do you remember that music video that came out? With it was a Saturday Night Live gig.
Oh, I don't
like
really
Andy
watch.
Samberg, but
yeah.
It's something about Mother's Day. Anyway, it's the difference of being kind and nice. Mm-hmm. And a well-known coach, I was on a call with him yesterday, his name's Steve. Mm-hmm. Steve learned this when he was younger, and it was taught by a manager that really influenced his life. And I don't know this manager's name from 20 years ago. The guy's probably still alive, male or female. But this is the type of value that is provided that he's like, I want to share it, and it's ripples. I don't even know the source.
Yeah.
The difference between kind and nice. What he was saying is that most people are nice, and I guess he told a story. He was young, he had to wear the suit and tie every day to work. He was like 27 years old, or like maybe 30. And he was getting ready for a big meeting, went to the bathroom before, and like, this is one of the meetings where he's kind of like, just trying to show his superiors, like, no, hey, like, I'm really into this, like, I should be moving up. Hits the bathroom 2 or 3 minutes before, and looks in the mirror, like, getting ready, right? Like, all right, I'm gonna go get this, and blows his nose, and then walks out of the bathroom. Right before he walks in, his manager, and we can call her Susan.
Okay.
Just to give context. So Susan goes, hey, Steve, you know I want the best for you, right? And is it okay if I tell you something that might make you feel uncomfortable, and it makes me feel uncomfortable too, but it's something that I want to make sure you know. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. Like, wait, first off, no one usually communicates like that.
Yeah.
And she goes, you have snot on your tie, right? And then she explained how the difference between kind and nice, and almost all of the world is nice, right? Nice being you don't want to make someone feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But the thing is the best leaders are kind because they're willing to be uncomfortable saying to the person what they need to hear. And this can take so many different versions, right? So it's, what type of life do we want to live? Do we want to be kind and purposeful, and knowing that we will put our own awkwardness, that awkward moment when you don't know the person even. I'm still doing that with people. I'm like, hey, I build a little rapport, but it's like, and it takes so many different aspects. It's like how you talk to your team, how you talk to your significant other. And my takeaway here is, I am trying to live a life where I am kind and I am and I know you're someone too,
Oh, yeah.
that's more than willing to be
I love that.
uncomfortable with them.
Yeah.
And that's leadership
Yeah.
and embracing
You make
the
it
kind
safe
way
to be
versus nice.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice is,
Have a great day.
yeah. Like, I'm not going to ruin their day. I'm not going to
Yeah.
tell them. But it's like they go on throughout the whole day. And that person, yeah, it's awkward for a second. But what I've learned is by doing that, my friends know they can always, like, they trust me. Like, they know I'm coming from an authentic place. So
Totally.
you too. I know
Oh,
you
yeah.
do with your friends. It's just very transparent. I wasn't doing that with friends a
Yeah.
year or two ago.
No, it's hard. And it's hard to like say things that are like embarrassing or, you know, like, oh, like you have something in your teeth or, you know, but it's what's going to be better when they look at they're like, how long has this been here? You guys have just been sitting here looking at me. You know, it's like, now I'm really embarrassed.
Yeah. No, exactly.
You know?
When
Yeah.
you get home from, everyone's had some version of this, but you get home from work or a big day, and it's like, oh my gosh, I've had the sticker on my pant leg the whole day from
Oh my
the pants,
God.
or it's like the tag on the shirt's been out, and like
Because it's inside out or something. Or
it's
like
inside
something.
out.
Yeah.
You had like not one speck, but you have like
Schmutz.
I'm trying to think what's the really bad. I'm blanking on like the there's a rice thing that always gets stuck in my teeth, and
Yeah.
like now I'm conscious of like I always have to go to the bathroom after I eat it. But like it's all of these those are the little ways
Yeah.
that we don't notice. But by doing the little things, like I think it takes effect in
But it's
bigger
also,
ways.
yeah, and it's also cool, like when you create like a safe space where it's like my friends know, and like we all know that we come from a place of like real care. Where like even if, you know, somebody's doing something that we're like, oh, this is not good for you. It's like, okay, who's gonna tell them? You know, but it comes from a place of like, hey, I love you, and so I think that like this is gonna lead you here. So like, but it's not in an attacking way, or like not being like, oh my God, did you see Steve had snot on his tie? Like, just to get like a laugh or something, right? It's like doing it from a place because you really care about people, and it's hard to care about people. Like it's
Yes.
hard to care about people because you have to understand that they might not care about you back,
Yeah.
and you have to do it for them, not for you, and that's super hard.
Yeah.
It's like whenever I do volunteer work, like I feel so great, but I feel great about me. Right? I'm like, oh wow, that was amazing. Like I made somebody happy, and I'm like, ew, that's so selfish. Like I'm doing it for me a lot of the time. It's like you get something out of it, but it's about wanting to do things from an unselfish place. Doing it just because, even if you get nothing back. Even if that person tells you like, and they get offended, no, I don't want you to pay for my groceries. What, you think I'm poor? Like that's happened to me, and I'm like, no, like now
Yeah.
what do I say, right? Like now I've offended you, like it's not that, I'm just, you know, trying to help.
Yeah.
And you have to walk away from that and be like, but I still did the right thing.
Yeah.
Because like, what if they were really struggling? You know, like we've all had it, like you're
Yeah.
traveling or something, or, you know, it's like cards can get declined.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was a reality check for me that I was like, no,
Yeah.
I don't think you're poor. I'm just trying to help you. Like if I can help you, I would like to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
And sometimes you just have to ask. So something else I've learned that's helped out a ton is before any interaction like that, just ask, is it okay if I help? Asking a baseline
Oh,
question.
yeah.
Is it okay if I help? Now,
Yeah.
a lot of times, keeping it broad, they might go like, or feel confused or something, but like you can avoid some of this because I've caught myself. You and me are very upbeat people.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we say what's on our mind, but it comes from an authentic place,
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
And sometimes I know I will say something, and like I say it with the tone, authenticity. They know I
yeah.
don't mean anything bad, but sometimes the combination of words I say, it can be misinterpreted.
And it can come off super arrogant. Sometimes I
Yeah.
hear myself and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like that is not what I meant.
Yeah, and then you like repeat, but
Yeah.
that's the downside once in a
Yeah,
while with
for
the
sure.
personality type. No, I love that you share that, and what's another way that we can give some love to the mothers in our life?
Just thank you. Thank you to all the moms. Thank you to the children of moms. Thank you to the women out there that are trying to become moms. You know, it's the dog moms. Like, it's all about just being like that nurturing, good place. You
Yeah.
know, that's what I think of a mom is like safe.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like when my daughter sees me when I come home from work and she like literally jumps in my arms and she's like, oh, mommy's home. Like, she feels safe.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take having a child to be that for other people, right? It's just being safety. That's what your parents are supposed to be. You know, they're supposed to be the people that, you know, you go to. And I'm grateful. Like, you know, I have my mom. I don't have, you know, my biological father's not in my life.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, I definitely clung to her and we've been through so much, and it's just thank you so much. And it's don't forget, it's not just Mother's Day. It's the sentimental things. Like if you see a flower and it's pretty, like give it to her. Like you don't know when the last time you're gonna be able to tell somebody that you love them, or that they mean something to you, or that you're sorry, or that you were being prideful, or, you know, I was trying to keep it too much together, I'm sorry. Like I was coming from a place of ego, like trying to strip yourself of that. Like it makes a big difference, and it's so freeing.
I couldn't agree more, and I have an idea, and I'd love to just both of us rattle off some of the traits that we're most appreciative of from our mothers. And
please, you go first.
Right off the bat, Mom, Kelly, I want to thank you for giving. I get my energy for life and excitement for life, and energy from feeding off people from you. And I'll never forget the memories of being able to spend, you know, some of those summers in elementary school, junior high, with you for, you know, months at a time, whether it was like going to the Dubuque pool to staying up late and watching black and white military movies, and you would be up to like 4 or 5 a.m. and it was like, I loved it. When I was staying with my dad, it was very strict, like go to bed, wake up early, get out of bed, don't play video games. And you enabled me to feel like I was a kid in ways that I feel like other times in life I couldn't. I'm appreciative of that. I'm appreciative that you are so passionate about religion and you introduced that into my life. I am religious, I'm spiritual. I know you consider yourself spiritual. And I see how that has guided me into the areas of life that I am and the energy and love that I want to give back to the world. So thank you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day.
For sure. Oh, Mom. I'm going to try to do this without crying. You know I love you more than anything in the world. I was not the daughter my mom expected. She is the most dainty, poised, ladylike woman you'll ever meet. And when she grew up in a convent, like that was where she went to school, raised by nuns, like, and she had me. And I came out with like fire in my veins, and she was like, what? Your brother is so mild-tempered. How are you like this? But she loved me for it. And she taught me to like love the fact that like I am different. And you always encouraged me to never stop and to remember like who I am and the fact that like I know that I'm different and I'm weird. And like not in like the sense of like, oh my God, I'm different and weird. Like, no, I really am. And I think of things differently, and you always took the time to listen. And thank you for teaching me how to cook, because I get to share it with everybody. And you know, when I was growing up, my mom, she preserved our childhood in such beautiful ways, struggling with a chronic illness alone, like in a wheelchair, like.
Wow.
But we would go to the grocery store and we would meal prep for the week, right? But it was out of necessity. We never knew that. She would literally be like, okay, let's time ourselves. Let's see how fast we can get it done this week. And she made it a game for us. So even like, because she knew she only had 45 minutes before she wasn't going to be able to stand up anymore, or, sorry.
No, you're okay.
But she never like let us know that like that was the reason, right? Like struggling and seeing her struggle, it wasn't like we had anywhere else to go, like we had to see it, but it's like we would have bed picnics, and she would be like, oh, let's do a bed picnic tonight. Like it was because she couldn't go down the stairs. Yeah. Now as an adult and as a mother, I see that. And I see like what it takes to like, and the depths that as a mom you go to protect your children from seeing any of the pain of the world, you know, especially when it's inevitable, right? Yeah. So it's like from bed picnics to doing chef time, competing, like just all those things, like teaching me how to do Quicken at like 5, because like we were all we had. Yeah. And she was like, okay, my little accountant. And, you know, she used to like cut my hair, and we would pretend that we were from France, and, you know, like the whole thing. Like she made everything so much fun, and just like, she taught me how to love. And when I became a mom, you know, people ask me like, what is your favorite thing about being a mom? And I said, hands down, the fact that I get to teach this little person what love is, what it feels like, and what it's not.
Yeah.
Right? Like I get to define that. Like what I show Aliyah is what she knows. That's her reality. Like so beautiful and so big and so huge. And in return, like my mom always told me like, you're perfect. You're gorgeous. You have all these things, whatever. She was always my biggest cheerleader. Becoming a mom, seeing her and not knowing who she's going to be yet has made me like really be like, okay, you better be somebody you love, because she's watching.
Yeah.
she's watching and she imitates everything, and it's cute. Like she'll sit and she'll like eat her food, and she like goes like this because we're always dancing around the house.
I love it.
And it's
she has the energy.
Oh yeah, no, Alaya is my mini me. Like her mannerisms, to the point when I was younger, when I would get in trouble, and I would go, and I wouldn't look at my mom. When Alaya gets in trouble, she closes her eyes. How would she? Like it's like, even my older brothers, like when they see her, they're like, it's crazy. It's like seeing you like again, like the little mannerisms, the things that she does, the way that she acts, like, and I dress her the way that my mom dressed me, which is super funny.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Mia, I love every single conversation we have.
I know.
And our challenge is like, all right, we have to do it on video because otherwise we catch up so quick.
I know,
we're so excited
yeah.
to see each other, even to talk, because we're both busy professionals, managing and balancing so many things. And I feel like you're balancing a handful of things that mean a lot more in life right now.
Yeah.
From the family, and just so proud of you.
Oh,
and thanks
you.
again for doing this.
Of course.
And thanks for coming down, driving.
Of course, anytime.
And we'll definitely be doing a recap again here
For
soon.
sure,
Catch up, and
definitely.
you're always doing awesome things. So thank you for not only supporting Happy Mother's Day to
Happy Mother's Day.
our moms, to your moms, and one takeaway would be, what can we embrace? What's one big takeaway that we've gotten from a mother in our life, whether it was your biological or who raised you, it doesn't matter. Who is a mom in your life, and what was one of the traits that they really instilled in you, and really maybe try actively this week or for the next week, I know I will, to really embrace that. And what did my mom teach me? How do I want to show up? Because I'm pretty sure that significant other our significant mother role for any of us is like, they want that better version of us. And
for sure.
That's our commitment.
Awesome. And I'll say, as a mom, the one thing that you can do is also take a second and figure out and remember that you are special, and find it and protect it. And as a mom, that's all you ever want for your children, right? Or anybody that you love. But as a mom, like, that's all I want for Alaya. And so if you've never had a mom, if you grew up, in foster care, or your mom has passed on, like, I will tell you, just do it for her and do it for yourself, because that's what any mom would ever want. So that's it. That's my spiel.
I love it. We'll see you next week. Tuesdays at 9 a.m., a new episode drops. We will see you on the inside.
Bye.
Beautiful. That was some makeshift beauty.